What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be going over 5 strategies to use on treasure wards to win every single time. Before we get into it, I want to say that there are more than just 5 strategies. These ones are just the ones that I've picked out that are distinct from one another. I will be going over how each strategy works, and then I will also be given pros and cons, and also be given someone who uses the strategy, such as a YouTuber or someone, so you guys can go ahead and check out how they do it so you guys can perfect it yourselves. There are clearly more than just 5 strategies, and there are clearly ways that you can mesh all of these together, and it basically depends on how each individual game plays out, but we're basically just gonna hop straight into it with our first one. The first strategy is gonna be the fast rush strategy. Now this strategy is used a lot on smaller maps such as Mushroom and Library, and basically what you want to do with this strategy is you want to you basically don't want to put any base protection, and you don't even care about armor. Your specific goal with this strategy is to loop around the entire map and destroy everyone before they get gear. This strategy relies a lot on PvP skill, because obviously you're going around with no armor and you're also going around with just a sword. Sometimes people do this without even having a weapon and they just combo people. So this is very strictly for those who are very good at the game. As they're circling around though, they do sometimes get armor and stuff, because they're going to go over to all the generators, get a lot of gold and do all that stuff. So eventually you'll get armor using this strategy, but the initial impact of this is that you will not have any armor or anything when you rush the first 2 bases at least. An example of someone who does this really well is Cranex, and he just has this perfected. He uses his ability to just combo people, and he just circles around and gets everyone, and it's honestly a very good way for him to play, because he can go through games really quickly, he can eliminate people before they get really geared, and it's just if you're good enough at PvP, this is a very solid strategy. The cons to this is that you're leaving your treasure completely open. So someone else can come over and destroy your treasure, and then because you don't have any armor, because you don't have any gear, you're basically very vulnerable at that point. However, once again, if you are good at PvP, this should not be an issue, and that's just part of the strategy. The second strategy I'm calling Emerald Rush, because basically what this strategy entails is that you rush over to get diamonds, and then you rush over to get emeralds as quickly as possible. Really quickly, I want to say that all of these strategies rely on you getting the first person out of the game. The person that you share that diamond generator with, they have to be out of the game. So for all of these strategies, that applies. But once you get rid of that person next to you, basically what you want to do with this strategy is go straight to the middle. Once you're at the middle, you want to collect enough emeralds to basically get a diamond sword and snowballs. This strategy also relies on PvP to win, but it uses the most OP weapon in the game paired with snowballs as well. So it's just if you're good at PvP, this one is for you. Typically, people play really fast paced with this. They don't protect their treasure past a wall defense, and that way they basically have a little bit of protection, but not a lot. This person will also typically circle around and just try and kill as many people as quickly as possible, but basically they're using snowballs as well to just knock people off bridges and do all that stuff. Someone who's perfected this really well is MJ Owns You. He almost always with his emeralds gets snowballs and then a diamond sword, and it basically just makes it so he has projectiles and also a really strong 1-to-1 combat weapon as well. If you're good at PvP and you have good game sense, this one can be killer. Honestly, there are not very many cons to this. You just can't die. If you die with all that gear that you've accumulated, then the other person will become really overpowered, and it'll make it that much harder for you to win the game. The third strategy is the Iron Armor Rush. Now this one's not very common, but basically the idea of this is you're gonna get rid of your first neighbor, then you're gonna go to the mid and you're gonna circle the generators, but not the emerald generators. You're gonna circle and get as many of the diamonds as you can. More than likely there will be enough diamonds if you go to all 4 of the generators to be able to get iron armor. And what this does is it gives you the advantage against everyone else, because if you've stolen all the diamonds from everyone's generator, then no one else can get them. So you will be the only one at that point in the game to have iron armor against everyone who either has no armor or only has chain. Once you are circling around, you can also get some emeralds as well to get some snowballs and a diamond sword, and then you're practically a tank. You're actually gonna be unstoppable. This works really well on a map like Mushroom, just because the diamond gens are so close to the middle that you can just get diamonds really quickly. The cons to this is that you are basically putting yourself in a vulnerable position to everyone in the game, because you are bridging over to everyone's base. Everyone now is gonna have access to the middle. Everyone can go follow you. Anyone who sees that you're stealing their diamonds might just chase you. You're basically picking fights with everyone because you're stealing everyone's stuff. So you are putting a target on your back, but if you can pull this off, it can be really good. You can also lose your treasure because you're spending so much time circling around around. But if you do this fast enough on a map like Mushroom, you should be back in time to be able to protect it and be good to go. There's no one specifically that I see that does this a lot to the point where it can be like they perfected it. But basically just try it, do it. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. I showed it on the screen right now, and honestly, it's a really good strategy. The fourth strategy is the camping strategy. Now this one's controversial because I know a lot of people don't like campers, but it is a strategy, guys. The person who does this basically just gets diamonds and then just 2 emeralds and then comes back to their base, gets all the upgrades, and then just builds their base up completely, just has a massive base protection, and then they basically just do that and don't even interact with anyone until the end. They might go back to the middle to get a diamond sword and some snowballs. They usually almost always get a bow so that they can camp their base a little bit better, but basically they're playing extremely defensive. They'll typically wait till the end and then like bow spam someone or just like snowball them off and just do this, and more often than not people will disconnect at the end because they just get annoyed. So I will say that the cons to this is that if you're going up against someone who's really good at the game or just like a good lobby, they will more than likely come over to your base before you can build up a really big base protection. And even if you do get to build up a really good base protection, if there's someone in the game who's good, they'll just get a block breaker, and typically a block breaker will go through anything. If not 2 block breakers, a good player will know how to go against you, you know what I mean? It's also pretty heavily hated to be the guy who camps and bow spams and stuff, so take that as you will. You know, you might get some hate in the chat and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, if you are not very good at PvP and you want to play a little bit more defensive, this could be good for you, but I would highly recommend trying to just be a little bit more out there and try and get some people's bases as well. And the final strategy, I was waiting for this one, guys. I'm just gonna call it the Panduma strategy. It's just the way that I play. I haven't seen very many people, if any people, play exactly the way I do. And basically what this is you're gonna get the gold upgrade, okay? Once you get the person next to you out of the game, you're gonna get gold upgrade. From there, you're gonna go ahead and bridge over to the middle and you're gonna try and get 12 emeralds. If you time this perfectly, you can get 12 emeralds instantly, then head back. 12 is the lucky number. Once you get those 12 emeralds and you head over to your base, there should be enough gold there to get chain armor. And then with those 12 emeralds, you're gonna buy a boombox, you're gonna buy 2 ender pearls, and you're gonna buy snowballs. You should go ahead and stop by the diamond generator as well and get at least 4 of them. That way you can get a knockback boombox as well. From there, you're just gonna go crazy. You're gonna do some trick shots, you're gonna do your thing. You're just gonna basically TNT boost over to everyone's base, do a couple of cool things, and you're basically gonna try and eliminate people as quickly as possible without actually like PvPing with them. You'll try and like ender pearl and like snowball them off and do these things. The cons to this is obviously it's a little bit risky. It's a little bit risky because if you use, you know, you're basically using all your emeralds and stuff to get block breakers and stuff instead of getting like a diamond sword. It's also risky because if you TNT boost, then ender pearl, and then block breaker, and then you die before you even break their treasure, basically you just wasted an ender pearl, block breaker, and knockback TNT, and probably some snowballs PvPing just to do nothing. So it is really risky. There's, you know, a high risk, high reward kind of factor to this, but it's definitely the strategy that I use the most because I think it's the most fun. And there you go, guys. That's 5 strategies that I think you guys can implement into your game. Basically try and perfect them, and you can combine a bunch of them together. It doesn't have to be like set in stone. You know, I'm basically just trying to help you guys out, you know, give you guys some ideas of stuff that you can do in the game to try and win some more times if you don't win that often. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if you guys have other strategies that you want to let me know in the comment section down below, make sure to go down there, leave a like while you're down there, and do all that good stuff, guys. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content from me. It's free, and you can unsubscribe later if you guys want to. But with that being said, guys, hopefully this helped, and I hope you guys have a safe and enjoyable rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.